Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, meanwhile, is on another tour of European capitals. He was in London Tuesday, where he met the King and the Prime Minister, a visit that comes as that war in the Middle East overshadows the one in Ukraine. US brokered talks have been derailed and sanctions on Russia rolled back by Washington. Well, the British Prime Minister said focus needed to stay on Ukraine as the duo signed a defence partnership, one that seeks to use Ukraine's expertise in fending off drones. Here's the latest from Volodymyr Zelensky.
Iran taught Russia how to launch them and gave it the technology to produce them. Russia then upgraded them, and now we have clear evidence that Iranian Shaheds used in the region contain Russian components. So what is happening around Iran today is not a faraway war for us because of the cooperation between Russia and Iran. And we do not believe we have the right to be indifferent.
Well, Zelensky is now on his way to Madrid to meet with Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez there. Sánchez has been an outspoken supporter of Kyiv ever since Russia invaded, part of Spain's wider commitment to calling for the respect of international law. On Ukraine, Gaza and Iran, Sanchez has been one of the most vocal voices in Europe against the violence. Well, to get more insight on Spain's position and its foreign policy, we can speak now to Associate Professor in International Relations at the Autonomous University of Barcelona, Eduard Soler. Thanks so much for your time. Can I start by asking you, Sanchez seems to be a somewhat rare voice here in Europe against these wars and the countries attacking. Why do you think he's so vocal compared to other leaders?
Well, I would say that Spain, first, it's a middle power, and therefore one that needs functioning rules and institutions to defend its interests. So on the one hand, there's the vision and the interests of the country. Then there's the views of the society. The society is clearly against these bellicose escalate, against the war, the current war in the Middle East. It was also very critical of the Israeli attacks on Gaza. 82% of the Spanish population consider that Israel committed genocide in Gaza. So I would say that Sanchez is aware that the positions that he is defending are also widely supported by the Spanish population. So it's the two elements. I mean, how Spain conceives its role and position in the world and how to defend its interests, but also the will of the people in a moment in which also Sanchez needs to increase his popularity at home.
Explain to me firstly a bit more about the strategy. You talk there about a middle power. I mean, when we think back to the past, I remember Spain going with the United States in previous Gulf wars. It cost the Prime Minister at the time his job. I mean, what is Spain's strategy to go against countries as big as the United States?
Well, it's not going against, it's going in favor of something else. It's going in favor or supportive international law, as you were rightly pointed out. I mean, that has been one of the, let's say, the narratives of this government when it comes to Ukraine, when it comes to Gaza, when it comes to Iran. So it is widely acknowledged that this wave of attacks, this war launched by Israel and the United States of America, it's against the Charter of the UN. So basically, Pedro Sánchez is saying out loud what everyone knows. Then it's not, I mean, Spain is not willing to enter into a confrontation with the United States of America, still and insists that wants to have a relation as cooperative as possible with the United States of America, but in the field of equality. And in that sense, and that's interesting, how Sanchez is also turning a little bit this discourse on defending Spain's sovereignty when it comes also to the use of the bases that the US has or employs in Spain, but that are a part of Spain's sovereignty and that need to be agreed with the Spanish government. So, as I said, it's not that Spain wants to get into a conflict with the United States of America. It wants to defend a certain position, which is quite clear. And then, yes, Pedro Sánchez may try to take advantage of that for political domestic calculations, but I think it goes well beyond. And defending a different position, then it would go completely against the will of the Spanish people. And as you rightly pointed out, we all remember what happened in 2003 with the US invasion of Iraq. Then José María Aznar was siding with the United States of America against the will of the Spanish people, and this is one among the elements, not the only one, but one among the elements that may explain why the Popular Party lost the elections back then.
How do you see Pedro Sánchez when it comes to foreign policy? Is he more assertive than previous prime ministers? And if so, why do you think that might be?
Yeah, it's absolutely. Well, probably we only have had another prime minister as assertive as him. That was José María Aznar, but for different reasons or with a different narrative, in a moment in which Aznar thought that the alliance with the United States was the way to defend Spanish interests. And he really liked also at the end of his second term being more active on the international sphere. For Pedro Sánchez, I should say that on the one hand, that was also trying to make a change compared to the previous government with Mariano Rajoy. He was not very active on the international front. He had to mainly deal with domestic crisis, and he really did not feel probably very comfortable in the international arena. Pedro Sánchez speaks foreign languages. That's a big difference for Spanish prime ministers. And on top of it, from his very young age, he has been active in international affairs, and probably people don't know, but he was also working as an advisor in Bosnia-Herzegovina, in the EU mission. He has been an assistant in the European Parliament. So international affairs, it's something that it's not new to him, and I think he likes it, and that's very evident in the way in he is also investing part of his career on this.
Finally, Volodymyr Zelensky visiting Madrid today for talks with Pedro Sánchez. What might we see there?
I think we will see continuation here. So, as you were mentioning before, Spain has been supportive of Ukraine against the Russian aggression, and here also overwhelmingly with, there is a popular support to that position, and there are very minor nuances when it comes to political parties. So yes, denouncing the Russian aggression, which also means supporting sanctions against Russia, supporting Ukraine as much as possible, not only militarily, because Spain is not such a superpower when it comes to weaponry, but it also can provide other things. It has provided weapons as well, no? But on the humanitarian front, nowadays there are more than 300,000 Ukrainians that have found shelter in Spain, that have found a new life in Spain. This is an important element, and also Spain has been supporting the idea of Ukraine joining the European Union. So I think that we will see the renewal of those commitments, of denouncing the Russian aggression, of supporting the Ukrainian people, and supporting the integration of Ukraine in the EU.
Eduard Soler, Lecha, thanks so much for your time and bringing us your insight. Very much appreciated.